So you don't want any state of the game like mentioned at all?
No, I don't care. That was just a meme. Like it doesn't bother me either way.
Well, I think it's about that time. So, yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump, back for another OPTC video. And in today's video, like we just stated, it's that time of the year again where we talk about the state of the game.
Yes! Woo! Let's go. I'm hyped. I love it.
So I'm here with the king of criticism, the connoisseur of critiquing, the GOAT, Captain Pappy.
The commentator himself.
The
What's
commentator,
going on,
straight from his cell,
I'm
so
still in
Twitter
prison.
says.
I'm still in prison right now. I got Yosh. I snuck in my phone. So I recorded the podcast in the Bandai HQ in Japan. I don't know how I got there, and I have enough time to record this one. So what's going on, everyone?
Well, happy you're here, my guy. Happy you're here. So I thought we'd come back together after we did our alright OPTC Let's Talk video and go back into it with what's been going on now, because there has been a lot of conversation around the game at the moment. And yes, I will admit most of these videos do come out when the conversation is quite negative or people have a lot of gripes with the game. But like today, we're going to not just talk about that. We're going to talk about the good as well, because there has been a lot of good stuff, and we're probably going to go back to about New Year's around that sort of time. But then also talk about what is happening that is kind of annoying most of the community. And like, yes, they don't care too much about global. They do care a little bit, but like compared to Japan, it's like chalk and cheese. But they do listen, so that's why we're here. So in the comment section below, if you guys have any concerns with the games, any gripes, keep it constructive, obviously, and let me know down there. And while you're down there, belt the like button and belt that subscribe button. I'm also going to leave a link to GGP, because I'm sure in this week's GGP episode, we're recording this after Pappy's done that. I'm sure in GGP they talk about this a lot as well. So make sure to go check out that video
They're working me like
first.
a slave. They're working me like a dog. These little content creators are just getting me in, dragging me into calls. No, I'm joking. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
No. Well, yeah, make sure to go check that out first, because I know that they would have spoken about that as well. So, the good at the moment, first thing I think to touch on was New Year's. New Year's celebration, whilst probably wasn't the best New Year's we've had, was still very good. Very powerful legends. Nami's still the GOAT. She's been so good in every piece of content since
Best
her
legend in the
release.
game. Best legend in
Easy,
the game, hands
100%.
down.
Best legend
Clear.
in the game. The Super Boss was so much fun. Like, so much fun. We saw disgustingly big numbers, and whilst we probably shouldn't have seen that big numbers, it was still a lot of fun. And all round, it was a good time playing the game around New Year's. So I think that was really good. How did you find New Year's?
Look, I think like at the end of the day, like one of the most important things to keep in mind is naturally what we're talking about is criticism, not the game is shit or the game is fantastic. So you have to take everything we say with a grain of salt. When you look at New Year's as a whole, if you abstract the idea of New Year's being a celebration layer, it was the generic cycle of content, regardless of how you want to picture it. Maybe include a blitz battle in there, as generally these celebrations do include. But what the value of New Year's brought for me, there's no Luffy legend, which is like an immediate plus sign. You got a couple of characters that, not that they won't get legends, but generally you won't see them like in that kind of caliber, i.e. Nami, who brought about a completely new and unique kit in terms of her charging special. You brought out Robin, who brought a completely brand new mechanic in terms of stacking conditionals. And we brought back, which I think is probably one of the more underrated things, a versus unit, which we haven't seen in over a year or two at that point in time. So I think just on those characters alone, there's a lot of value in that regardless. On top of that, naturally with any celebration comes content and events. We had the generic kind of content and stuff. I will agree. Kazuna was amazing. The way that they approached Kazuna and said, here's a very, very minimal amount of debuffs you have to worry about. Go out and just do damage and have fun with it. I think it was the best situation they possibly could have put us in. Unfortunately, this is coming from two players that are endgame. I understand that, and I'm not going to caveat this every time, but just to put it as a blanket statement, this conversation is very endgame focused. A mid-game player in their own regard may not have had the best time if they didn't have the correct units or whatever it is. But unfortunately, that's just what Treasure Cruise is.
Yeah.
If you don't have the correct units, you don't have the correct structure. Like, even I struggle a lot in clearing content because I don't pull on everything. I don't have anything maxed out or whatever it is. So everything comes with the grand stop. But I think in all, was it the best New Year celebration? No. Was it good? Yes. I had a lot of fun. I thought the characters were really fun. The Sugo is just less than desirable, but I mean, that's just the unfortunate reality of our current climate in terms of Sugo structures. But I would say, like, it's a very solid New Year's celebration if you were to compare them to one another.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree, especially, like, seeing, like, Nami's the best legend. Like, that was really, really
that's
cool
different.
to see. Like,
that's an insane thing. 100%.
Yeah, and, like, very popular character, but you just sort of expect, like, oh, with a verse Kaido or a verse Yamato,
they're going to be the best.
That's going to be better than those. But
correct.
Some pretty cool stuff there, and I do want to give them credit for what they, like, for actually going out on a limb and actually, like, making that decision, going, hey, we're gonna commit to this, and we're gonna send it, basically. So kudos to that. The next thing, we're looking at parallel celebrations, is the worldwide anniversary celebration. Now, on that same topic of, like, Nami being best legend in the game, I do really like that they went away from Wano. They decided, hey, let's not keep throwing all our eggs at Wano. Obviously, they're going to come back to Wano. We know that because it is relevant. But to see ASL, and in all aspects as well, like, they kept the Ace Wano, obviously, but, like, that's been untouched, basically. You have, like, Kid Luffy, and then you have, like, Dressrosa Sabo to sort of go back and touch on those areas of One Piece that most of the fandom loves was a lot of fun.
I agree. It was cool. It was cool to have this really nicely themed celebration around the trio of brothers, and we got a really cool Twitter teaser, which is always a fun. Even though, like, people say, "Oh, it's easy." It's not meant to be hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be like get people excited, because people start thinking, "Oh, Ace Sabo Luffy is going to be a trio unit. It's going to be 3 solo legends. It's going to be a dual legend. It's going to be a fake dual." Like, it gets people's ideas percolating. It gets you thinking about different things.
Gets the juices flowing.
Exactly, you know, and that's what it did for a lot of us. We all were like, "Oh, is it going to be? Are we going to get a new mechanic? Are we going to get X, Y, Z, A, B, C?" You don't know until obviously it comes out. I think what we'll touch on as well is the big thing in the room, naturally being them all being anniversary exclusive characters, but we'll leave that for the time being.
Yeah, like I said, we'll focus on the good for now. The bad and the ugly will come in a bit, and obviously we'll come back to these things that you see on screen as well. I'm kind of scrolling through the news tab and sort of showcasing what we're talking about. So I think that was cool. I think, like, doing more stuff like that is good for the community as well, because then it obviously prolongs the life of the game, that makes the Wano stuff. Obviously, when there's hype happening in Wano, like, drop the hype stuff from Wano, like the New Year's celebration. But to see that this was an anniversary in quotations, not be Wano related, was actually really, really cool.
Correct.
Another good thing is Super Evolutions. They have been absolutely nailing Super Evolutions. Whilst Shank's crew didn't exactly meet all of the things that I liked, he's still a very, very good 6+. Cat Dog, dual units, like,
that's what I was going to say. That's the most important part to me. It's, like, less about the quality of the 6+, while that's also still a very important thing nonetheless. It's more about the fact that effort to some capacity, and in my personal opinion, it shouldn't be that hard of a programming problem to have resolved this or have in the first place, but that's an aside. But the fact that we've taken a step back and we're starting to now create these dual units as 6+s is very positive. I just hope it doesn't slow down the Super Evolutions of other, like, regular legends. Like, V2 Shanks is still sat there without a 6+, you know?
I think they should look at moving into doing 2 6+s a month.
I agree. I've said this for quite a while. Now the dual units can be done. Do dual units, and maybe, for example, you have different game modes. Have one of the 6+s related to Pirate Rumble. So you get all your skulls through Pirate Rumble, and maybe some through Treasure Map. I don't know. And then have the other one related to purely Kazuna. Yeah. Use these game modes to allow players to acquire the free materials at a higher rate, and then you can progress these characters forward. And it allows for more nuances, more new characters. Therefore, you get this knock-on effect of a 6+ will then be boosted in content, which means they're going to do more drops in the total farming event, which means they're going to be boosted in Kazuna, which means they're going to be boosted in treasure map. In turn, people have more of a variety of units they can access.
Definitely.
It's all a very positive knock-on effect.
I'm looking at some of these dual units too, and like when we get the 6+ for these, like Vivi, Rebecca, Saba, Koala,
Vivi,
Luffy,
Rebecca,
and
bro.
Law.
Oh my days.
Like, and then you go down to like the big guns, like Whitebeard, Roger, Straw Hat Crew V2, Carrot Wanda, like Ace, Yamato. Like they can do some really cool stuff. But I definitely agree. I think they do have to look at doing 2 6+s to sort of keep up with the genuine flow, and then maybe drop it later down the line once they sort of start catching up. Because I feel like doing 2 a month will actually get them sped up quite drastically as well.
I agree.
That's going to take a while as well.
Yes.
So
Yep. I just want to jump in real quick. I think also like it's pretty important to keep in mind that like Super Sugo Fest units are also in the cards for 6+s now as well with the with the recent Onigashima Luffy.
Yeah,
I would like and Roger as well. I would like because in my opinion there's 4 big celebrations a year.
Yep.
Pretty much. New Year's ties into Worldwide Annie, ties into Half Annie, ties into New Year's ties into Global Annie, ties into JP Annie, ties into Half Annie, then we cycle again. Yep. Yes, you could argue One Piece Day, but from the last One Piece Day, it was kind of like it doesn't. You got Zoro and Sanji sitting on a whale in watermelon, which is kind of tight, but like it's not like the end all be all.
It wasn't like Wano Lost release.
But I would like that in every single quote unquote big celebration, 6+ Super Sugo Fest, or at least twice a year on both anniversaries, or on Global Annie and Half Annie, or on New Year's and something. Like it would be cool if we can start progressing. Like we get Law and we get Kid next, and then we end up getting, but like we continue this progression forward in that regard. Because then at least you're keeping up with the pace. These units are getting like, because I would say Onigashima Luffy is a really good 6+.
I mean, he's
like,
actually
really
I definitely
good.
undersold him when I first read his kit. And I think the content that's come out, he's been so good for as well. And I don't know if that was planned or if it just worked. Because at the end of the day, a character's only as good as the content that it's in front of.
Correct.
But like, Onigashima Luffy, the Red Rock Luffy, has been so good for point farming events, for treasure map. Like, he's been very, very valuable. And I think, 4 is not unreasonable. Or even if they do, like, because I think Roger and Red Rock were pretty much New Year's celebration. Like,
more or less, yep.
That was kind of like an extended. So even if they did it for anniversary, and just do the same thing, just give us 2 then that are extended, and then they don't have to do it on the Half Annie or the worldwide celebration either.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, definitely agree with that. I think the next thing was the bounty events. I'm just trying to find it here. Here you go, this one. This bounty achievement event.
Yeah.
Receiving rewards for your bounty, I think, is a fantastic thing.
Agreed.
Because for me, bounty was kind of just like, why? Like, it's a flex.
Some gems here and there if you get, if you make it there, but otherwise it's not important.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like you just continuously raise it, and eventually you just get to the point where you just like, look at me, I've been playing the game for so long. I've got all this bounty, I rank high in events, which is great and it's cool. Like, it's nice that it's there, but I think it could have been used more. And this is a prime example of that. Now, we'll go into the depths of the problems of this, but the fact that they are doing stuff like this is still a good thing. Like, this is still good.
I know, I 100% agree. I think I'm still waiting on the day that we get like the Pirate Alliance level, because I'm going to assume that's going to be correlated to bounty in some capacity. Like maybe the bounty equates to EXP that you earn to up your Pirate Alliance level. There might be rewards related to that because the UI is there. It just has to be utilized. But overall, I'm satisfied. I mean, I'm probably a bigger annoyance than most people in this kind of stuff, so I would be content and say I'm satisfied with the fact that they've utilized bounty in this capacity. I think Todd made an excellent point in the podcast. He said, whilst it is only 20 tickets, which we'll get into, it would be cool, and we're not sure yet, so we can't say yes or no for sure. It'd be cool if those tickets included game mode exclusive characters as well, which might be the reason behind such few tickets being given out for these for the bounty, which in my opinion would actually make it okay to some extent.
I agree.
If they did, because then again, like obviously, if I had the chance to pull like Kazuna Legends or Pirate Rumble Legends or whatever it is, I would be kind of, obviously the more tickets the better. I'm never going to complain about that. I'm never going to complain about free stuff either. But I think I echo the same sentiment. Positive, they're doing something with Bounty. I would love to see them just do more with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to give a shout out to my alliance. We cracked the top 25 Pyre Alliance bounty. So let's go, Spin Titans. Let's go. Yeah, so that's good stuff. And the final one is, there's a lot of good, but the final one we talk about today is the World Cruise event. This was cool.
Yep.
Like, this was fun.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
You got automatically chucked into a random straw hat, and then your team points boosted your alliance in quotations to then get rewards that have they been distributed yet?
No,
they haven't yet. So you got,
as far as I'm aware,
you get your in team ranking, and then your whole team gets a ranking.
Yep.
So I think Robin took it out convincingly.
First place in all three.
Yep, just
easily.
absolutely decimated it.
I have the numbers here. First place was Robin with 35 points. Second place, Luffy 25. Sanji's third place with 17. Zoro is fourth place with 16. And Stump and I's team.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Nice little fifth place with 12 points. Which
let's go, Team Nami.
is actually very good for us.
It actually was, because I ranked in the top 100.
I think I was like ranked 226. So like
it's good.
Like and that was with like me playing a little bit more than usual, but still not like an excruciatingly large amount more. So like all very positive to come last, because like what the gem difference is what? Nami gets 26, Robin gets 30.
Yeah, it's four gems, and I think it was like a couple of ink bottles.
Yeah, buddy, put the ink bottles in the bin. I don't care about that.
Yeah, I agree. And the in team ranking was actually like a lot better rewards, so it was a lot harder to rank.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
But we'll get into that with the sort of ugly part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But doing stuff like this is really cool. I don't think they should do it all the time, because it is a lot of work.
We talked about this before, right? Yeah. Like I think when we met up, and we're talking about like there's a lot of space for them to do a world cruise once, if not twice a year.
I think twice a year is good.
And then because world cruise isn't really combative, it's more like you're in teams with JP and Global, and you're working together for your team.
Yeah.
World Clash, on the other hand, is mano y mano, like you're by yourself and you're against everyone else. I feel like you could do World Clash once a year during JP anniversary, and maybe do World Cruise once or twice a year during, naturally it works really well with Worldwide Annie, and then maybe even doing it for 0.5 Annie as well. You have these nice balances where you're like, Worldwide Anniversary is this unification of the entirety of the game. Let's work together. Let's have fun. And then JP Annie is like, hey, I'm going to beat everyone because I'm the best. Like, let's make it, World Clash. Everyone's against each other. We can actually rank who the number one player is in One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I agree with you.
I as well. I liked...
It's good to sort of bring both games together now that we're synced as well. So doing stuff like this is just a no-brainer.
Exactly. And not doing it in the sense of like, oh, here's Blitz Battle. Cool, and we're going to put our points together. Yeah. No, this is a great decision-making process, because what they've done is they've taken the generic content cycle. There you go. How many times I say that this episode?
Yo, listen on the comment section below.
And they've taken the generic content cycle, and they've said, we're going to add a layer on top of it. So in theory, it's not actually any extra work. I mean, I understand it is, but they're not making a bespoke event for the content.
Exactly.
For this thing. So it's a nice little add a layer on top. It maybe it incentivized me personally to play more Rumble, Kazuna, and TM, because I knew that I would earn rewards more valuable than what I invested in.
Yep.
So, there's more incentive in that regard.
Definitely. And even if you just didn't grind for the event and you played your normal month, you're just getting free shit.
Exactly.
You're just getting free stuff. And it's like, yeah, sure, Team Robin could have come together and be like, guys, we're going to win. Go, 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 go. That's all good and well. But if you're on Team Robin, you could just be like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to cruise, I'm
still earning 30 gems, whether I played or I didn't. I'm Team Robin, therefore I'm going to make I'm going to get the minimum, the team rewards regardless.
And I guess the downside to that then is that it's harder to rank higher in those sort of brackets to get top 100 or something like that. So,
that's right.
So yeah, good stuff there. Keep it coming with the collab stuff. And look, there's a lot of other good stuff that we haven't really touched on, but we're not going to go all the way back to our
I want to touch on one thing before we go.
Go for it.
Smaller thing, which blows smoke up Stump and Todd's ass, but I'm pretty good at that these days. The introduction of that really I felt very warm-hearted. I remember I was driving to Sydney, and I remember it was in the game, and I popped off in the car because I was very pleased. Seeing Stump's name and seeing Todd's name, the two pillars of OPTC YouTube, right? Seeing both of them in the game, in this Pirate Rumble event. No, it's not made to be challenging. Yes, we all know the story of they made very difficult teams to verse, and then Bandai was like, whoa, hold on, that's too hard. Dial it back a little bit. I think that more of that, the better.
I agree.
Obviously, like, not even for the sake of being like, oh, I'm the guy. No, but more collaborate. Like, we saw with the tutorial series, you collab with the Spanish creator Dobel.
Yeah.
Bring him in on stuff. I mean, obviously you collaborated with Rogers Base. It'd be cool to bring him, not because he's the big guy or whatever, not because he plays Treasure Cruise that much, but bring him in. Let him build a fun team. Let him do stuff. I like this idea. Like, imagine if one day we all woke up and we saw a freaking grand voyage that Stump created.
That'd be sick.
No one's gonna clear it because this guy's a psychopath. But like, I liked that they were into the game, and it would be cool if this collaboration continued, where it wouldn't just be like a Pirate Rumble, you verse some guy, hey, cool, I beat Stump, wow. But more like, let them design content, let them do this, because I say we, but like, people know the game inside and out. We know the mechanics. We know how things work. We know how to make fair and reasonable content. We know how to make it challenging without being too gimmicky. Let us do that. Let the content creators that you have purposefully put yourself towards be more involved in the creative side of the game. They don't need remuneration. I mean, it'd be cool if they got it, but you don't need it. Just having your name in something that you've dedicated your time to is all the more, respectful enough. So I think that was my little extra caveat that I want to put on top
I
of everything
appreciate
as
that.
well.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming getting that message as well. Like to put a team forward and actually be in the game. I was talking to actually someone last night at the wedding who used to play this game. He knows that I make content on it now, and he asked like, how's the channel going and stuff like that. And the first thing I told him was like, yeah, I was actually in the game. Like that was the first thing I jumped to.
Exactly.
Because it's just super cool. Like, it's super cool to have that screenshot, like, you beat Stump's team. So I even have the one for Todd as well, like, beat Toadski's team. So yeah, that was really cool. And I think it closes the gap on the mentality of like Bandai and then us as well.
Yes.
So it kind of closes the gap on the players and the creators of the game, and sort of makes them kind of go, well, hey, like we're people too. So
exactly right.
That's
100% agree.
But that was the good. Let's talk about the ugly before we get into like the bad. And I think the ugly was, I had it up before, now I've kind of lost it in my brain. The ugly was kind of the 3 worldwide celebration.
Yeah,
units.
that's probably the ugliest part in the last 6 months.
Yeah, 3 what's it called? 3 exclusive legends.
3 exclusives. Yep.
Is very hard to digest, especially right before anniversary. Now, obviously they are anniversary exclusives, so you will pick them up on anniversary if you skip this banner. However, the content this month, because it was so theme driven, can't even speak. They revolved around those 3 units so heavily. Yes.
Like, extremely, like, if you didn't have them, good luck. If you had one of them, you were okay. If you had all of them, you were great. If you had 2 of them, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, like, honestly, if you had 2 of them, it was kind of like, yeah, cool, but like, you might really need that 3rd one.
I had 2 of them. I didn't have Luffy, right? And the amount of times, especially in the Kazuna, like, me and Stump were talking the whole Kazuna, and I was like, I need a team. What do I do? Do you have Luffy? No. Okay, all right, let's think of something else. All right, do you have Luffy? No. All right, let's think of because the content revolves around these characters, and naturally, like, as I've said for a long time, Bandai is a very remuneration-heavy based corporation, and especially with this game in particular, every decision is made with the intention of earning an income. It's not made for goodwill. It's not made for the betterment of the player base. It's made for how can we turn a profit on what we are currently doing, which is fair enough, right? When you think business-wise, every business should be looking to make as much money as they humanly can. And unfortunately, we are just, I guess for lack of a better word, victims, but I probably should use the word consumers of what that is, you know? So you can't get mad at a company trying to make money. We still can, and we still do. I do it all the time.
Yep.
But like when you break it down, you abstract it, and you look at it from a perspective. If you were to, the way that I kind of see it is that if you look at these kinds of decisions, like for example, making 3 anniversary exclusive characters from the perspective of somebody who does not play the game, who's not part of the community, and you explained it to them, I would be pretty confident in saying that people would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because a company's just trying to make money. It's the same way that Apple sold a cable and then ended up becoming $1 trillion valuation because of a cable. You know, like it's the same process, and it's all business. It's all money, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I just think that like because they were so driven around the content that came out, and I don't think it might be a product of the units, but it also might be a product of the content that was derived around them, being the treasure map, Kazuna, and the Blitz. I think the Blitz, if you had Ace, you were doing good, because Ace was more like the unit you wanted for that. Treasure map was obviously Sabo, being the treasure map replacement, and then Luffy for Kazuna was just so big, so massive. And that leads me into the new debuff they added, or the new buff, I guess. It's more of a buff than a debuff, right? The Intimidation buff. How do we feel about the Intimidation buff?
I think, like, let's not, like, all right, let me take the caveat of being an asshole here. Like, without, like, take that away from myself. I think, in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense as a debuff to mitigate damage.
Yep.
And it's a great precautionary system, but you can't have that debuff and then also have 30 other things for the player to worry about on top of that too. Yep. You need to pick one or the other. You either put Intimidation and then put like 2 turns of Despair, or you don't put Intimidation and then put 20 turns of Despair.
I 100% agree.
You can't have both. You can't have both.
Yeah, that's why I think it definitely falls into the ugly category, because I actually think it makes, like I said, it makes sense. Kind of like normal tax only, when that first dropped in the game, it made sense to nerf something that they'd implemented that could just then be just so broken. And I think the character that copped it the worst was actually Nami. So they tried to nerf Nami so hard in Super Boss. And funny enough, she was still the GOAT, and she was still used on like the biggest damage teams. But the debuff in itself, or the buff in itself, I don't think is a problem. I think is exactly what you said. No. If you chuck on 100 turns of debuffs, where then if you bring someone that's like a 1-turn orb boost, but hang on, there's that Intimidation, so you lose that orb boost, and then you're just using them for what's it called? The utility. You kind of lose out a lot on that particular unit.
Yeah, you can't, in my opinion, you can't do that, because it's not fair. Like, I think, look, as far as we're aware, in theory, any game should be quality tested by the company that develops it. We all meme that this game isn't quality tested or quality assured. I kind of think it isn't, in my opinion, but who knows? But naturally, the players know more than the devs in this situation. A lot of games, the devs will know more than the players, but you won't, in a game that is so nuanced and has, what are we at now? We're at 3.6 thousand characters in the game right now.
It's wild.
A dev team won't know that.
Yeah. Because
their job isn't to know that. But a player, I could probably pick out 10 names right now that if I ask them, hey, what does Miss All Sunday do, the TM Rare Recruit? Chances are they'd be able to tell me in some capacity what she does, right? Yeah. And I think that's because we play the game. So you have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah.
And it's tough and it's unfortunate, because when you have a situation where the game in theory isn't being quality tested and quality assured, you get these slip-ups. And you get these situations where Super Boss Doflamingo, you're able to do 300, 400 billion damage, and then the dev team's like, oh, we didn't know Nami could do that. You know? And then they're like, well, we have to mitigate that, so let's introduce this intimidation buff in Blitz Battle. Then everyone says, wait a minute, that buff's going to reduce our damage a lot.
Yep.
And then what happens? Literally does that. We go from doing 300 to 400 billion damage in a Kazuna, which arguably Doflamingo might be the funnest Kazuna in a very long time.
100% agree.
To arguably, if not the worst Super Boss Kazuna we've had. Period.
Definitely, and we'll touch on that when we get to the bad, because that Super Boss. Whilst look, I still enjoyed it, and that's easy for me to say because like Super Boss and
grain of salt.
10-star Kazuna is probably the most freedom you get nowadays to creatively build teams.
Correct.
Because you're not restricted to a point boosted list. You're not restricted to like what's shining, and it's just like let's team build, and that's where I get most of the fun out of Super Boss Kazuna. But I will, if you compare Garp to Doflamingo, like the difference is uncanny. Because even if you were like, oh, I don't have this unit, who can I replace it with? It's like, oh, just use this unit. Like you'll lose 50 billion damage, but you know you're still doing 350 billion, so it's not that big of a deal, right?
Exactly.
This time,
literally,
it was
this
like
time you don't have Luffy. All right, buddy, all the best.
You don't have Luffy, or you're probably gonna lose something like 15 to 20 billion.
What was I doing? I was doing like, I remember I messaged you. I was like, hey, I think I'm using this team wrong. It's only doing 20 bill, and you're like, yeah. And that's what the team does. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, you're using it right.
you're using correctly, bud. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
yeah,
cool, man.
But that comes back to that intimidation buff debuff too. It also brings relevance to characters that give you 3-turn buffs, 2-turn buffs now. So whilst it sort of sucked, it also then brings a lot of other characters into play again and makes particular units a little bit more relevant in my eyes as well, which is a good thing, I guess. Something we didn't touch on in the good as well that I think definitely needs noting is the April Fool celebration. Like, this is cool.
I agree.
This is really cool. Don't get me wrong. When I saw like a 99-star event, I was like, wait, what? They're doing some brazy shit. And then I think I messaged you. And you were like, nah, dude, it's April Fool's. And I was like, that sucks. But then to see the clash, to see the event, it was super cool. Like, it was super awesome. Cool.
And keep in mind, that is being turned into an actual raid going forward. April 2nd PST, so tomorrow, from the time we're recording this video, that I think Todd time traveled. And that's going to be, it's a 8-star 40 stamina raid, which actually has a gem for clearing. So that's an actual raid. So that's a legit. So they've developed a raid.
Will it change?
Hey, hallelujah! They've developed a raid.
That last raid we had was OP Day Jinbei.
Jinbei, yep. So literally almost a year ago to the date. Like now, about 2 months out.
Okay, so does that mean it's going to change, or it's just going to be the same premise?
I would hazard to say it will be the same theming.
Yep.
But it will naturally be more of a raid, because in the April Fool's Day event, it was like, you get hit with 100,000 damage at the start of the quest, and you're dealing like 6 billion. You know, you're dealing like 6 billion damage because you're running Big Mom and blah 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 blah. Like, naturally, I don't think it's going to lean to that, but I would be pretty comfortable in saying like the mechanics we've seen in the April Fool's Day thing, like the paralysis and the bind, and the orbs and the knocking away characters, would probably thematically leach into the actual raid battle itself.
Okay, so they'll actually turn it into an actual raid. Now, if you guys are watching the screen as well, I'm actually playing through it. You can do this very easily with like any Kaido that does damage and any Big Mom that does damage. You pretty much just need a support that can remove paralysis for one
turn. Run V3
turn.
Big Mom. Literally just run V3 Big Mom and tap. You clear it. Done.
Yeah, right, there you go. So, I did it with Verse Big Mom and Verse Kaido just for funsies. You can do it very easy with Super Tandem Kaido. You just run the Jack support. Verse Kaido with like Friend Captain Big Mom, like it's very easy when you are using them. They do rainbow damage, they do tons of damage, as you guys are seeing on the screen right now. But this was cool.
Fun, keep in mind, it's purely done for fun. It's not done in any other capacity. It's a great event. Like, I think that I would love this expression of creativity shown forward in everything else that they do. But I mean, we'll get into the nitty gritty. But it's just very cool that, like, whilst some things didn't go well, I think it's interesting the level of organization, the level of creativity displayed in April Fool's Day shows that this company has merit to do this kind of stuff.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say, this event and the way they've done this like one-day thing shows that they can do this stuff. It's in their repertoire.
And I think
the effort that got put in, because like this came out a little bit earlier on Japan than it did on Global, because it hit April 1st earlier. On top of that, you got a free multi for Usopp's birthday.
Yep.
Which doesn't happen for anyone else's birthday, by the way. And whilst I know a lot of people say free multis suck, and I never get anything good, go check out my shorts. My free multi went brazy. I pulled 4 reds, and one of them was Sop Sop.
Sop Sop is literally the biggest dub you could possibly get from that.
So like, if you walked away, and I think the last poster was a guaranteed legend.
It was a guaranteed limited pool legend as well.
Yeah, like that's huge. Like that is massive. A limited pool legend. Like I mean, I think I pulled Doflamingo. Thank God I didn't pull
I saw Super Tandem Whitebeard being pulled, which is incredible.
Yep.
I've seen I saw someone get Film Red Chopper. Nice. Fantastic.
Yep.
I pulled V1 Straw Hats. Pretty decent.
Yep, take that.
Like, so a lot of fantastic, reds you could possibly acquire from it, which I think is, which is great. And I think that that's also a thing that do that for every Straw Hat's birthday.
Yeah. And every rare recruit was Usopp as well.
Usopp.
So, there's a lot of very good Usopps. Usohachi, I know he's like part of like the startup campaign now, and you get it for free. Banger. But like 150 being a thing, like Usohachi is a god.
Banger.
The new Usopp that came out with Big Mom, the Int one.
That Int one, yep, very good.
Very, very good. Yep. I think they're the two ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Or there's also the 20th. Yeah?
Yeah, 20th Annie Usopp for the fantastic support.
Yeah. So, some good stuff there, and I think it does need to be recognized that they can do that sort of stuff too. So, all right, should we move on to the bad now?
All right, let's get it. I got my coffee in hand. I've been drinking. I've been sipping. I'm ready to fucking run.
Okay, so I think with the ASL campaign, like that was a bit ugly. Like I liked what they were doing, but I just don't think that they nailed it per se.
No.
So I think that's pretty much all touched on. The Super Boss Kazuna. Now we touched on it a little bit earlier, but that was just poor. Like,
yes,
I don't know if it was because we went off such like a high from Doflamingo moving into Garb, but the amount of debuffs we had to deal with was like atrocious. On top of that, we had this new intimidation debuff, which like sucked, and there was an interrupt as well. So there was like a whole triple shenanigan going on for the Super Boss Kazuna. On top of that, there was a debuff that you got lost 20% of your attack if you were below a 10 times chain multiplier.
That's insane.
Like, 20%, you could probably go, like, I think lots of teams just didn't even worry about it, because it was like, I'm not going to let that, like, restrict me. But the fact that you lost 20% of your damage from being under a 10 times multiplier was ridiculous.
It's a lot.
On top of that as well, they nerfed the scaling of the tickets.
I was going to get into the numbers real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I have the numbers of Doflamingo. So we started at 1.5 bill HP.
Yep.
And mind you, this is all caveated with Bandai particularly saying in their post, the initial HP and the scaling per level has been increased for Super Boss fights. And then they said the scaling of obtained Kazuna tickets per level has been increased for Super Boss fights. Increase was the word that they used, by the way.
And then updated on March 22nd, they said the description regarding scaling of obtained Kazuna tickets per level has been corrected.
And I believe it got changed, like adjusted or something like that.
Yes.
So like it got completely changed. So Super Boss Doflamingo, arguably one of the most fun Super Bosses. We started at 1.5 bill HP. And we accumulated tickets on an exponential scale, meaning we're growing at a curve. We started at 100, and max HP got hit at level 34, and at level 46, we had hit 11,000 tickets cumulatively. 11,000, keep that in mind. Garp started at 3 billion HP, so double. Tickets
He started at 3 billion.
3 billion, double.
I thought it was like 2.8, which is still not good, but like, damn.
Tickets grew linearly. So the ticket was 100 plus the Super Boss level minus 1. Is that how it worked? So level 1, you got 100. Level 2, you got 101. Level 3, you got 102. So on and so forth. That accumulated to Sorry, max HP got hit at level 29, so 5 levels earlier.
Also, be mindful though, at level 28, it was basically max.
No, 998,864,
like
literally the same.
Yeah,
number.
it was like the increase was minuscule. At that point, it was like you saved.
It's irrelevant.
You didn't even save a run. It was the same amount of runs for us.
And then cumulatively, you only earned 5.6 thousand tickets. So essentially, half the amount of tickets you earn in Doflamingo.
That's wild. Now, I do want to bring up as well, there obviously was that ticket bug.
Yes.
A lot of people got upset about. And look, I do understand the gripe behind it, but at the end of the day, it was all resources that you could farm, and the people that got it were like high-end players. Let's
be realistic here, right? If they went to this extent to do all of that because 50 or 100 players got an an exorbitant amount of rewards, where, mind you, that 50 to 100 players already had access to that Cloverless. And keep in mind, I'm the one that's saying this, and I'm probably one of the biggest haters on that bug as well. There's no shot they did all of that just because of that one thing.
Well, that's what I was alluding to. Exactly that.
Like, maybe they did it as a mitigation strategy because they didn't want people to get to that level of rewardship ever again. Maybe. But
why?
Halving the tickets is the most brain-dead decision you could possibly do. If you wanted to increase the HP of the Super Boss to 3 billion, go for it.
That's fine,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Do not touch the ticket scaling. Or you're going to increase the HP, you got to increase the ticket scaling. Or if you're going to reduce the tickets, I was going to say, if you're going to reduce the tickets earned, flip and fix the boxes, man.
All right, let's take a look.
It's like you got to do something. Something's got to give.
Let's take a look at box 7. So I've still got my tickets. Like, I haven't used all mine. I've got about 7,000 left, and I've opened maybe 4 of box 7, maybe 3. So compared to obviously last time, which was like infinite.
You got 9 of each tablet.
Yeah. So yeah, you got 2 Crystal Skulls, 1 Almighty Manual, so which you get twice. Slotbind tablets, so no hunger, no fear, just 9 of every tablet.
Good tablets,
like you just
all
said.
The original ones. Yep.
Like 200 tomes, a bunch of training drinks, some cotton candy. Cotton candy I think is the big one. So like, because people hate farming cotton candy, and then the lobsters.
300 coal probably or some shit in there. Like,
proof of friendship, some rumble scrolls. Basically everything that you can already farm in the game besides the tablets. But like Pappy just said, all the people that were getting them already had an abundance of these tablets and didn't have a problem with them. If there was fear tablets, if there was hunger tablets, I could honestly understand the frustration. If there was gems, it's not even a discussion. Like, it's a fix that shit right now. Even if it had like level limit break posters in it, I'd be like, fix that shit right now. Even if they were only gold level limit break posters.
You know the funny thing is though, is that the players abuse the bug. Fair enough, right? If you want to call it as crass as that is. But it's also extremely Bandai's fault for not actioning a solution way quicker. They took a week, like 6 days or 5 days before they were like, oh, that's actually a problem. We should fix that.
Yeah, there's 5 days left, yeah. Or it was 11 days, I think. So it was like 11 days left.
We called that out within 2 seconds in our alliance. Because obviously we have the community manager in our alliance. Doesn't really matter. It's pretty easy to contact her anyway. But I think 86 was like, or Game Freak was like, yeah, there's a bug right now where you can use infinite amount of tickets. Oh, no, sorry. Game Freak messaged me and he told me that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to say something. And I said, and then 6 days later, something gets done. No shot. Yeah. You have a bug in your game that's like changing the economy. Whoa, big word. Like, you're having like an issue like that, you can't just sit there and go, oh, we'll do it later. That's a priority number 1.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna change it and you're gonna do something about it, and their system was literally just like lock the shop for people that hit that cap, and then they just removed everyone's tickets. So
which is great. Should have been done day 1.
Just don't understand why they didn't do that day 1. And then they extended the shop.
Yeah, and then they extended it for like a week. For who?
Yeah.
Who's still spending? Like, why would you extend the shop? The people that have abused the bug have 0 tickets. Like, what are they going to use their tickets on? Nothing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Use
so
your brain.
So that was a bit of a head scratcher, and then to then turn around and be like, oh, so now we're going to nerf the scaling of tickets after they also fixed the issue of not showing the cap. Because going over the 999,000.
Yeah, 99,999.
Yeah, after going over that, you would still accumulate tickets.
Correct.
But you just wouldn't show it. But they fixed that, or they announced that. They declared it, I think, in game.
Yes, they declared it as a new feature where it will only display 100,000 tickets, but you will earn tickets above that amount.
Yeah. So then to basically tell people that was happening, but then be like, no, we're going to change the scaling of the tickets drastically. Like, they halved the amount of tickets, but then also, like, quartered the amount of super bosses that we could actually clear as well. Was just such an interesting drawback to just go so balls to the wall in the other direction. While, yes, the Kazuna bug was a problem, while, yes, we should not have seen these absurd numbers, it was still the most fun that everyone had in Kazuna. Because even people that didn't reach those crazy, like, high levels, didn't break the cap of the tickets, still got a shitload of rewards!
Yeah.
And this time, like, we ranked top 10, shout out to Spoon Titans, by the way, we got 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And I popping, like, what? 6 of box 7? Like a top 10 run should not be 6 of box 7.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like, you're earning. Let's mathematics this. Super Boss Gup, 46 runs. 46 runs is 1 trillion HP. You accumulate all those trillions of HPs, you have upwards of maybe 15 trillion damage. Every team did an average of maybe 100 billion damage at the very, very top end of it, right? That's over, like, what, 1,200 runs required to get to that point?
100 billion, no. It was more like 75.
Okay, there you go, 75. So maybe that's looking at 1,500 runs to even get anywhere close to that level of capacity, right? 1,500 runs multiplied by 30 tokens. That's like 45,000 Super Boss tokens per thing. Take away the whole, like, Super Boss token bug, which is a conversation for another day. You know, you're looking at 45,000 tokens. You're earning on average between, let's say, 15 tokens per Kazuna clear. 15 tokens divided by 45,000 is like 3,000. No, it's not 3,000. No, it's 30,000. Kazuna clears, 30,000 Kazuna clears over 30, like, come on, man, 30,000 clears?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not possible.
Touching on that, funny enough, the 10-star event for this particular Kazuna was actually zombieable.
Yeah.
And if you crack about level 160, doing 10-star runs is actually more beneficial to your alliance than doing super boss runs.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting as well, because then at that point, if that's going to continually be the case, like, what is the point of spending all that time trying to take down super bosses? I know some of the top alliances members had over 1,500 super boss tokens at the end. And they were top 3 alliances because doing 10-star runs was more beneficial to their overall ranking. Not only personally, but alliance, which is absurd. At that point, it's like, why are you making all these gimmicks for Super Boss? Why are you making us do so much less damage? Wouldn't you want them to be on equal par?
But even thinking about things like doing 160 runs, right? Let's do, like, make it easier. Make it 150. 150 times by what? 20 tokens, 20 Kazuna coins per run is 3,000 coins. If you earn 3,000 coins, that's minimum between 50 to 60 stam bars of Kazuna.
But those top alliances are going to do that, though, right? So that's
what I'm saying. But, like, that's 50 potions. Like, who has the resources to, like...
So if you're a big time whale and you buy every pack every month, you end up getting, like, around 50 potions every 2 months.
But then we think about going back to just Super Boss alone. 46 runs of GARP only nets you 5,000 tickets.
Yeah, that's wild.
If you go from box 1 to box 7 and clear box 7 again, that's all your tickets gone.
Yep.
From just doing 46 Super Boss runs. 46 is a lot of runs, man.
Yep.
That's a lot of runs.
We didn't even I don't even think we hit 46.
No, we definitely didn't hit 46. We hit like 28, you know? Like,
we did quite a few in the last hour, but, like, I think we capped, like, just under 40.
Like, come on, something has to give in that capacity. If you want to nerf tickets, great, do it. I don't care. You gotta realign everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to say it. Realign the two.
It has to be realigned. You have to, if you want to nerf the tickets by half, nerf the box by half. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you gotta do something. You gotta figure something. And I'm not saying nerf by half. I mean give us one tablet per freaking thing. No, I'm saying cut out 300 cola. Cut out like 300 berry items. Cut out this jabroni bronze Pirate Rumble flags. Box 7 is meant to be the elite items. The items that you work hard to attain. I'm not trying to attain berries and cola and bronze lobsters.
I'll take the bronze lobsters, baby. I'll take the bronze lobsters.
Fair enough.
But give us gold lobsters. Put gold lobsters in there.
Give us 5 gold lobsters a box.
Give us the materials that we're going to use most frequently. And yes, you could argue, but you always use belly. You're using belly every second. You're using cola. Like, no, you're not. You're not. You're using level up materials. You're using, like, bronze Rumble Skulls. You are using, yes, but they shouldn't be bronze. It's box 7. They should be at least silver. And the friendship little things that you get, they should be the second tier.
So here's an idea. Introduce a system where I can combine 5 bronze lobsters together and make a silver one. Like,
that would be awesome, Pappy. What would you call this system?
I don't know. Fucking put shit together and make it better. I don't know. Some cool shit like that. Like
yes, I 100% agree. This a breakdown system or a collaboration. 5 bronze lobsters equals a silver. 3 silvers equals a gold.
Make it even harder. Like, technically, a bronze lobster gives 33,000. A silver gives 333,000. So you need minimum 10 bronze lobsters to make a silver. Then you need minimum 10 silvers to make a gold. Like, make the conversions. Let me break down my limit break materials from big to small, small to big. Let me do things. Let me change the colors. Let me do the, like, you want to leave the box at 2,000 items? Fine, go ahead. Let me not be capped out at my bronze lobsters. Let me convert them all to silver ones, and then I can re-earn my bronze lobsters again.
Yes,
let me change my tomes into specific tomes, even though I know that they're negligible, whatever. But let me do that anyway. Like, there's so many systems where they could say, all right, we're going to let me turn berries into gems or some shit. I don't know. Or like, let me turn berry into bounty. Or let me use berries to purchase Kazuna potions.
I think most other gacha games have a shop that updates every 24 hours. And you can use your belly to buy stuff. I think that would be a good addition to just buy. Like, just buy whatever's in the shop.
That means? Berry Island becomes usable again.
Yep.
Captains that boost berry become more viable again. Speed teams get created for that. People are now farming the game more consistently. Therefore, they're in the game more consistently. Therefore, you have retention. Therefore, people probably are more likely to spend money. It's all business, baby.
Yeah, it's all business, baby. But yeah, that was Kazuna. Anything else you want to touch on with Kazuna?
Nah, I think that's about it. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, as there always is. I think that's the most positive outlook you can have.
Yeah.
It's just, will they grab that? Will they grab that improvement is the question within itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it on a positive note with Kazuna because it is still my most loved game mode because, like I said, it creates the most creativity, and it still did have a lot of creativity. Like for myself, building like big 10-star teams, 1 team versus alls, super boss teams, helping alliance members, everyone coming together. It is a lot of fun in that regard, and the fact that they are making these changes, these ticket changes, and they're implementing new debuffs and they're restricting characters and whatnot. Whilst yes, it was bad for for Kazuna Garp.
Yeah.
I do like that they are putting energy into the game mode. It means that they're not letting the game mode eventually die. Yeah. Which I do think is a positive step. Whilst it's not a positive step right now, I do hope, like you said, they do grab onto those opportunities and make it positive moving forward. Kind of like what they've done with Treasure Map. Like, we all joke about Treasure Map sucking, but like that game mode gives the best rewards. They're consistently updating it to try and make it user-friendly, to make it more attainable. So if they can do that with Kazuna as well and get that balance that we spoke about earlier, I do think that is a positive step in the right direction.
100% agree.
So moving away from Kazuna now, we're not going to talk about the Grand Party. We're not going to talk about Grand Voyage. I feel like that's the same conversation we have every single month.
Grand Party shit. End the story.
I really like Grand Party, but that's coming from a person that has a very well-established account. I think if you are playing Grand Party, you use the low combat power strat if you can. If you can't, if you get 9 wins, be happy. Like,
I was gonna say, Grand Party, go into it with the mentality of not getting 15 wins. Yeah, that's how I've done it from now on.
I go into the game mode with the exact same mentality, and it makes it much more enjoyable.
Exactly.
If you can get above 10 wins, you are doing very good. Like, you are doing very...
I get 14.
Very good.
I get 14 all the time. I don't care anymore. Who get 20 gems is 20 gems. I know it's good. You need the gemmies. Wow, sick.
I think...
Save your gem mails. Like, it's better.
I think people need to look at it more as of what they attained within their wins, rather than what they lost by not getting the 15. Now, correct. Yes, I do think that there should be ways to make Grand Party better, and I hope that they do, like they're doing with Kazuna and like what they've done with Treasure Map, they do work on the game mode, because I think there's a lot of little fixes that could be done. I think adding an extra half day, like they do in the
Todd, Todd mentioned this to me as well, today as well, and I think that's a fucking incredibly good idea.
Yeah, I think he jumped in chat when we were like right on the start of Grand Party, and I was just doing some test runs while I was on like my half an hour break at work. And yeah, I think if you give players an extra 3 wins to get to 15...
There's leeway now.
But you've only given them an extra half a day, because the first half day is short as well. So if you can't play... Because I know in Europe, I think it's like everyone is asleep. Like that first 10 hours is like... It's like 11 p.m. till like 6 a.m.
It's late night, yep.
Yeah, so like unless you're getting up early, you're missing, or staying up late, you're missing that day. So I think it works both ways. You're helping players get the 15 wins, but you're also compensating for time zones that might not have the availability to play for that first day. So I think that's completely fair. The thing with that is, though, they might have to restructure the way that the retries work. With
I would personally say just spread them out more. So if you're still relying, if let's say I've gotten 14 out of 15 wins and then tomorrow's the last day, make those last 3 challenges the ones where I can't see my opponent. Yeah. Because if I'm relying, like, I guess it's weird to say, but if I'm relying on that final extra 3 wins, it shouldn't be easy for me to get them. Whereas like the whole point is you should be earning your wins within the first 15. The last 3 are there is the final little caveat, like, I need 1 win out of 3. Let me just throw the dice and see what I land, you know?
But the thing is, though, if you fight someone and lose, their team will stay there. So you could technically scout.
Yeah, exactly right.
So they have to... So I think they have to make a way that, like, on the last day, that you just can't see anything at all, and it's just a free-for-all, go for it. I see the leader, but, like, go in, it's a free-for-all, like, and you have 3 opportunities to get your W. And then if you lose, it's a whole new 3 opponents. It's not those same 3 opponents.
16, 17, 18, which would be the last day, would have the same debuffs as 13, 14, 15, just shifted upwards by 1. Yeah. Everything gets shifted upwards by 1. So that means 13, 14, 15 become easier, which therefore means the chances of you actually getting your 15 wins within the generic allotted time becomes more straightforward, which means they don't have to change any of the reward structures because you've been given more opportunity to get wins. It's easier to get the 15 initially, and then the final days literally should just be a grab bag of just good luck and send it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think baby steps at the moment is the best way forward for them as well, correct. Not to go too crazy balls to the wall, kind of like what they've done with this Kazuna. So if they do start working on that, I think that'd be really good. And the last thing, before we touch on the other, like, the really bad, is the Grand Voyage. It's standard stuff. Grand Voyage.
Half stamp, yes.
I honestly, as a content creator, I appreciate that. I'm gonna give, whilst 99.9% of the community does not care, does not care. I am going to be the sugar at the bottom of the tea.
That's fair enough. I can agree with you there, and I think also again, Todd brought up a really excellent point to me, saying like naturally this has been done because of the bounty event or the current bounty like campaign, and maybe people, for example, got 3 out of 5 but now aiming for 4 or 5 out of 5. It's great. Like, for example, myself, I have a lot of Grand Voyage I haven't played. And I'm essentially now going back through and just trying to clear them whenever I'm super bored right now. So like it is a good mechanic, but for a lot of people it's kind of like, it makes no like I don't know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it ties into that campaign where they were giving us materials for just clearing content as well. This is like Jinbei's
that
one.
That frustrates me because you wasted Jinbei on half stam.
Well, what if it's Grand Voyage this time? Next time Jinbei comes back around, it's half stam on Colosseums or anything in the Recollected Archive. I really hope so.
Because then they wasted Brook on the Boon. Boosting the ship. And
that's good though. I like that they did that. That is a good ship.
Give me some rewards, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
The one other thing I want to bring up with Grand Voyage is we are getting Arlong in 3 days, right? Give or take from when we were
starting April 5th. Yep, I got it up on the screen
now. We will also get to 50 medallions with that one.
Oh yeah.
So now
this is very
test.
Good for the very ugly. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is the test. Do we get a tandem / final tap tablet every 25 or not?
We do not.
We don't.
We do not. We already checked it. We time traveled and saw the rewards.
Don't say that.
Yeah, and there's no tandem tablet. Sure, I checked it.
Don't say that.
That's the first thing you checked. So unfortunately, there is no final tap or tandem tablet.
Why would you not do that?
That's why when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, this is perfect for the ugly.
Why? It and these are the things that baffle me as a consumer of this content. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, look, I definitely agree. I think that
so
like we've spoken about it at length as well. That those tablets are so scarce, and we're at a point now where we have so many legends that have final tap and super tandem. Like they're releasing regular units, like regular legends that have final tap.
Last two legends have final tap.
Rare recruits have final tap now, like the Sengoku batch. Obviously, you're not using those tablets on them, but like if you had silver tablets of them, maybe you would.
I'm looking at it.
Who knows?
2-0. Hawkins final tap. Killer final tap. Tandem Sabo. Yep. Luffy final tap. Tandem Ace.
Yep.
Ragaban had something. Didn't have anything.
No, Whitebeard
had a super tandem. Robin final tap. Super tandem Nami. Kaido Yamato final tap.
Both.
Both even, which is actually pretty good in all honesty.
Yep.
Kinemon Nandro final tap. Like if you look at like from Kaido Yamato onwards, we've had more legends with the I guess the niche potential abilities than we have like otherwise, which is ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty nuts.
Benefit anyone.
Hopefully, we want to see something soon, or that hopefully something happens. But we have been saying that for a very long time. So all we can do, I guess,
is get one during Worldwide Annie. No,
say that again. Sorry.
We didn't get one during Worldwide Annie, didn't we?
No.
That's crazy as well.
Did we?
I don't think so.
Maybe
I'm fairly certain
we get like a final tap one from the Blitz?
No shot we did. You keep going. I'm gonna have a little squeeze, see what's popping.
But yeah, as for Grand Voyage, I always get the two mixed up. As for Grand Voyage, same thing as always. Just if you can't beat it day one, don't stress.
Who cares? Just wait.
If you really want to play the content, do level 3. I feel like if most people can do level 3, you are in a good position. Like your account is in a good solid spot because from what we can see, it's going to be based around Nami because you get a Dex level limit break poster and a Dex manual. So Dex Nami V1 should be the character that is going to be like the best unit for it. So if you have her at level 150, she's probably going to be very good. It could be Dex Striker with like Whitebeard and First Yamato and all Perispero, all those crazy units that have come out. Or it could be Dex Cerebral. We don't know yet. What I really hope that they don't do is, and that would be really ugly, is what they did with Mihawk. And you have to have a limit broken expanded level 150 for them, like the content to be like feasible.
Right.
So hopefully they don't do that. But teams will come out within the first couple of days. I know Chaozu, he goes crazy with like breaking that content down. Subconti does some crazy stuff as well. Me and Todd, we put out videos for it as well. So a team will eventually pop up that you guys can beat, and this content isn't going anywhere. So don't stress about that too much. But going into the
also no tablet, by the way.
There was no tablet. Okay, yeah, no. It's pretty yucky. Going into the really bad now.
Yeah, here we go.
We're gonna leave the metal exchange to last because I think that's probably.
Oh yes.
I think that's probably the worst of the worst.
Yes.
Talking about the bounty achievement gifts.
Let's chat.
I like we said in the good, this is a good thing that they're doing this. Mm-hmm. It is very, very good. But I think the direct comparison that we just generically make, and that might be our own fault. I will admit that we could be looking at this from a wrong perspective as well. Mm-hmm. But the thing that we compare this to immediately is the 1,000 Pirate level rewards we got. We got 100 tickets. Correct. If you were at Pirate level 100 for anniversary last year. And this lines up exactly on 9th anniversary, where you get 20 red tickets, depending on, or up to 20 red tickets, depending on your bounty achievements.
Yep.
20 reds compared to 100 reds is very different. Now, we don't know what these reds look like. It's separated into tiers. There's going to be a higher tier with more limited legends that have come out recently compared to the lower tiers.
B, A, and S. B, A, and S.
B, A, S. So S being highest, A, B. And I think for last year, there was 5 tiers, wasn't there? It was like D.
I think it was 4. It was D, C, B, A. I think it was how it worked.
Good numbers in math, Stump. You started with 5 and you went to D. You did.
Let's go. Yeah, you thought S though. See, you smart boy.
You got me. Yeah, true.
Yeah, smart man.
Yeah, so the direct comparison is that 100 to the 20, which is a drastic difference. And for myself, I guess it depends on the mentality of where you are in the game and how many legends you have and what your account looks like. But for me, I feel like these rewards are designed to cater to level limit break. I think that's probably where most of the tickets will see the most value is getting your characters to level 150. So the difference between 100 and 20 to me is so massive. But that also does depend on the fact if you're missing a lot of legends, what tiers you fall in, and if they do have exclusive legends like Treasure Map, PvP, Kazuna legends on these tickets as well. For myself, I personally don't think they will. But
I don't think so either.
But they could.
They definitely could. That is correct.
Besides the 20 ticket talking point, people are probably wondering, well, you got 100 tickets for being at Pirate level 1000. What level do you need to be to get these 20 tickets? Well, you need to get the 20 tickets. Is it 1.7?
It's about 15. It's like, look, so the way that it's structured is it's a bounty range. So it starts off at 1 mil. The first set goes from 1 mil to 15. And then at 15, it's up to 10 tickets maximum. Then you go from 15 to 65. And then that goes up to 19. And then the first point where you earn 20 tickets is between 65 and 84,999. So just say 85 mil. Yep. That's when you can initially get. So you need to have a minimum of 85 million bounty to earn the 20 tickets. However,
actually, I think it's is it? I think it's if you're on 65, you still get 20. It's just you get more.
Yeah, the worst one. Sorry. Yeah, that's
more
right.
Bs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So you get. So and then it's a scaling factor. So for example, in the following one, 85 to 100, you get 1 S ticket, you get 5 A tickets, and then you get 12 between 12 to 14 B tickets, and then that scales. So for each additional plus 5 mil from 85 to 100, you get an additional A ticket starting at 5 tickets and 1 less B ticket, so totaling at 20. It's this really unnecessarily convoluted system, and the reason why it's so convoluted, which is probably the biggest talking point, is that the cap for bounty is 340 million berries,
which is absurd.
If you look at the current bounty ranking, which is a snapshot from day 1 of the month, the highest current bounty is Haze with 310 million, who is a very top player, followed by Rizzy, followed by a Korean Donny. So on and so
I don't
forth.
think that's completely updated, but unless you are in that sort of top 5, you're not hitting 340.
So we have the complete snapshot because it refreshed yesterday, right?
Oh, okay.
So we have Haze at 310, Rizzy at 309, a guy called EV from a Korean Alliance 304, another Korean Donny 303, another Korean Donny 303. You have one car who's 301. You have Wanted who's 301. You have a guy from AF 301, and then you finally drop below 300 with another guy from the ADA Alliance, the Charlotte Alliance or whatever, which is 299. right? Let's take myself as an example. I think I'm a pretty decent, touchstone, right? In terms of this. I have, from the snapshot, I had 210 mil. I'm ranked 700. 701 to be exact. I have 210 mil. That would mean the person at 250 has 208. So I would comfortably say around 1,000 to 1,100 players that play global. And mind you, we have about between 80 and 100,000 active players. So 1,000 players have over 200 mil bounty, give or take.
Yeah.
I'm not getting 340. Stump's not getting to 340. Maybe 10 players have a chance to get to 340.
Yeah. Which is just like I try to put words together for it, and I'm just like, I just don't know where they got this number from.
The words that you put together for it is, first of all, the way that the system is structured is that if you have above 65 mil, you get the maximum amount of tickets plausible. 20 tickets, right? It's just the quality of the ticket. Naturally, we don't know if it's...
Or is that a bad thing?
That's the problem, because what you mentioned before, we don't know what the quality constitute towards. Yeah. We could say, hey, A tickets are actually technically better than S tickets because A tickets have units that require level limit break. Yep. So I want to actually get more A tickets as opposed to S tickets.
Correct.
And so on and so forth. But we don't know that yet. So we can only pass judgment on what we are aware of at this current point in time.
I think that for me is the dumbest part of it. The fact that everyone still gets 20 tickets no matter what your bounty is. You just get better quality in quotation marks, better quality reds.
Yes.
Because you bet your ass, like I'm sitting in the 220 and above, you bet your ass that if there's an A rank and that fucking kimono ulti's there, you bet your ass I'm pulling 5 kimono ultis and 6 goddamn super class categories.
And they're all going to sit in your box.
And they're all just going to go straight to the Rayleigh's Bazaar. I think if they were going to do something like this, they should have put limit break posters into Rayleigh's Bazaar as well, because if people pull legends they can't use for level limit break, they can at least sell them to Rayleigh, buy the what's it called, the red posters for their account, and other players that want to buy them too have access to them. But
hey, I have an idea for the conversion system. Don't tell anyone, by the way. What if we could convert dupe copies of legends into, hey, guess what? Flipping level limit break posters.
That would be kind of broken. That, honestly, if I'm honest, that would be kind of broken.
3 legends to 1 poster.
3 legends to 1 poster? Probably. I would say 5's probably
great
more
conversion
fair.
rate. 5 legends to 1 poster. I'll put fucking 100 rare recruits for 1 poster. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, with me, I would do 10. I would happily drop 10 legends for 1 poster of that color.
Exactly. I would say more fairly would be 3 to 5, but 10's fine as well.
Like, if they want to go crazy with it, yeah, I 100% agree. But for an event like this, for example, all my 20 tickets, I've got 100, all my legends are 150. I sell all of my tickets. All of my tickets, what I would gain from Rayleigh points would be worth 1 color that I could pick. Like, make it crazy, but at least I can then use those Rayleigh points on something. Whilst, yes, the conversion's probably not fair in my favor, at least I'm getting something that's not Rayleigh points that are just going to sit there.
Correct.
So,
that's 100% right.
That's the big thing for me. If you're going to go to this absurd number at 340 million, what is it, 340 million?
340 million, yep.
Why cap at 20? If you have those players that are grinding so hard on these events at 340 million, I can bet your ass Rizzy has every single one of these legends. Done.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And the S ticket might go all the way back to like Rob Lucci. And it's like you pull 4 Rob Lucci's that you can't use. It's kind of like, sick.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scary part, right? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it could be this real, like, look, we could have an elite pool of legends, right? It could genuinely be like, you could have Super Sugar Festival units in there. You could have unique legends. You could have the top tier, the best of the best. At the same time, you could literally have, V2 Brook and, Kinemon and Denjiro and, fucking, V2 Inu and Neko. And, like, no one wants that. I'm sorry. Like, this is not the case. I think the other big contention point about the bounty part is naturally JP has had a 6-month head start in terms of bounty, which is why it's been put to 340 mil, because a lot of JP, again, not a lot, but probably a big handful, probably the same amount that are at level that are at 200 mil for global, is maybe at 340 mil for JP. With a 6-month head start, that's a big head start. Right?
It is a big head start. So, it's 6 treasure maps, 6 Kazunas,
exactly. Yep.
Like 6 Pirate Rumble events. Like, it's a lot. Like it is a big head start. And like in that regard, I do understand, but at the same time, something's got to give in terms of the compensation. But at the end of the day, comes back to what we said, that this is still a good thing. At the end of the day, it's still free shit. Like, we're still getting free shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So whilst it wasn't executed perfectly, the fact that they are looking at executing stuff like this is a positive, and it is good. It is
100% agree.
So
it's just it's just that what upsets me the most is not the tickets and not the quality or whatever it is. It's that they really haven't thought about the difference between what JP is at and what Global's at.
Yeah.
And that kind of upsets me a lot, because you developed the game. You should be very privy of the fact that there is a gap. You should have made 2 bespoke events for different, for this and this. Yep. So they both align equally. Let's say 1,000 JP players have above 340 mil bounty. Then you should say, okay, what are the top 1,000 global players at? Let's set the level at that as well. Or let's set the level at what we assume would, do something different. Don't just say blanket 340 mil, all the best. Because me going right now and earning bounty, what am I really earning out of it at the end of the day? If I'm not going to the next tier for me would be like, for us, I suppose, because you and I are kind of in like the similar, pretty similar positions, I suppose.
Well, you'd be in the 170 to 220, right?
I'm in 170 to 220. You're in 220 to 320. So I could get to 220. Stump's not getting to 320 though.
No way.
It's just not happening, right? So, but also look at the difference. Like the amount of points, like 85 to 100 is 15 mil. 100 to 170 is 70 mil. 170 to 220 is 50 mil. 220 to 320 is 100 mil.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, who decided this scaling factor?
Yeah,
it's so different.
Yeah, that's the mind-boggling part to me. And then it's like, and why is it so intricate? Why is it +1 for every 10 million berries, -1 for every 10 million? It's like,
so
just give them an extra ticket.
Give
them more tickets. Just give more. Why make it harder for yourself?
They just made it so complicated for no reason whatsoever. Like, It doesn't need to be that deep, brother. Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah, so, all in all, like, it's free rewards.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's 20 tickets for everyone. Hopefully, you guys pull something new. If you do,
correct.
Congratulations. If you get some stuff that'll help you with level limit break as well, awesome source there. And if you don't, at the end of the day, it's just Rayleigh points. You can always use them for something else as well.
I think people need to remember that we don't know what the pools are yet.
Yep.
So you have to wait and see. Maybe pool A is the best. Maybe pool B is the best. Maybe pool S is the best. We don't know. So wait and see what those pools are, and then determine how much you want to go hard to get bounty from that point forward.
Definitely. I would say just don't, like, as long as you get, if you're a newer player, as long as you're in that 65 million and above, you're going to get the tickets.
As long as you're getting 20 tickets, that's all that matters, I think, at the end of the day.
Well, to wrap it up, the final thing to talk about, and this one unfortunately has no ifs or buts to it that I can possibly think of. Everything else we spoke about has the good and the bad, has the good and the ugly, the good, has everything. But this one is a doozy. I don't know who thought this was a good idea.
I was smoking, but give me some, because that shit seems crazy.
Wild. The medal exchange this month. So to start it off at 600 whopping medals, 55 multis worth of medals will net you Super Tandem Big Mom or XP Marco. Now,
funny part, not even Super Tandem Big Mom, it's V3 Big Mom, the one that does the lightning strikes.
Oh, sorry, my bad. So the worst version. The worst version.
It's even worse, bud.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the one that does end of turn damage, the bad V1 Kaido, you can pick her up for 600 medals. If anyone buys this unit for 600 medals, you have rocks for brains. Like, I'm sorry. I apologize for being rude and crude, but
no apologies. You have rocks in your skull. You need to shake it out.
Do not buy this unit for 600 medals.
Here's my tinfoil hat theory, right? These units came out the 28th of April 2022.
A year ago.
A year ago, right? My guess is that in this new 600 medal tier is legends that are less than a year old. So it will go forward. So hypothetically speaking, we've gotten Super Tandem Law already. We might get
Why wasn't Kid there then?
Don't ask me. I don't fucking make the decisions. I would say the next, if we see Black Maria, Who's Who, and Sasaki there for 600, it would make sense.
Right.
That this is the tier for legends that are about a year old. It would make sense for me. I don't agree with it. But that's my saving grace for this kind of decision. Yep. Because I guess they still associate 1-year-old legends to still be extremely valuable. Okay, Marco, you could fight me in court and maybe win the case for Marco being 600. Big Mum, no shot on God's green earth. It's 600 of any value.
I am the first man to stand and defend Marco. As a non-XP grinder as well, I will still defend Marco because he's a fantastic legend and he's incredibly valuable for new players. But 600 medals for this man who's been on every goddamn banner since his release? No.
Correct.
No.
No shot.
I think I know one person that was chasing Marco because they started playing in like the last 6 months and it took them like 5 months to pull him and we were like, this is absurd. Like, it's actually absurd you haven't pulled Marco. Marco has been on every goddamn banner and obviously in tickets he's available. 400 medals, you don't have Marco, buy him. Like, I would 100% say buy him. I would get around that. But 600 medals? No, too much.
I would say
Law?
Go on. Law valuable.
I would say yes to Law, because even if you pull, then like I think the big fear for people is you buy a legend from tickets, and then the next time you do a multi, you summon that legend straight away.
That's just like, that's law of large numbers, right? Like,
of course, but with Law, you buy one copy of Law, then you pull a Law, you have a tandem tablet right there.
That's what I'm saying, bud. Like, I would say the first actual legends that I could see I would snatch for 600 would be Beckham and Lucky Roo.
Yep.
Usopp Yasop, even so. Like, those are the kinds of legends I'd be like, 600, I don't have them. Expensive, but like, they don't come around often, you know? Yep. I would snatch them up. Marco, no shot. Big Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But actually, Stump, she's boosted in the April Fool's Day event, therefore she should be pulled. Shut up! I didn't ask.
You run her, and V1 Kaido, and you're good. Like, you run V1 Kaido as your captain, find a friend. And people, I understand, people got at me for my Killer Hawkins videos lately. Like, oh, but we can't find the friend captains. Jump on the Discord. Just jump on the Discord. The link is in the description. Jump on the Discord, say, hey, I just need like one friend. Like, I guarantee you someone will add you. I promise you.
Jump on the subreddit friend code every week. They have a friend request thing. It's everywhere. Like, you can put a tweet out and send me a message. Hey, retweet. I'm like, okay, I'll do it for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not hard, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Like, you know, like just do it, man. Just do
it.
But
whilst that sounds absurd, there is something more absurd in this goddamn metal shop.
Yes!
The GOAT, the Gold Emperor, Gil Tesoro is 400 medals. 400 medals. Now, don't get me wrong. Tesoro is a good unit in Pirate Rumble. His level limit break in Pirate Rumble made him godly. He's a disgustingly good Pirate Rumble character. For endgame players, that's where you're going to use him. He's got a fun level limit break if you want to be brazy.
I'm not using him, though.
But you're not going to ever use him. You're not running one of every type on the team unless you limit break expand him. Shout out to Todd and myself for limit break expanding out to Tesoro.
Psychopaths.
Bro, I did it day one for Pirate Rumble because I thought it was absolutely amazing. And look, it's paid dividends.
Paid dividends.
But even if you have Tesoro and you're chasing a level 4, you should not spend 400 medals on this character.
35 multis, by the way. 35
multis for Gil Tesoro. But on top of that, he was in the medal shop about a year ago. And can you guys guess how many medals it cost?
June 1st, by the way, of 2022.
June 1st. He was 150 medals. And you could buy 3 of him! And you could buy 3. You could buy 3 copies of Gil Tesoro for 50 more medals than you can buy 1 right now.
What are they thinking?
That That is not okay.
What pipes are you smoking, boy?
That is not okay. Like, not okay at all.
Oh, stop my head. Like, I'm getting a headache because it does, like, I'm a very analytically driven person. Yes, I complain about Bandai a lot, but I try to see the business aspect of things when I see shit, right?
Yeah.
On this metal exchange, we have V1 Sanji. V1 Sanji came out.
V2.
V2 Sanji came out the 30th of October 2018. Tesoro came out the 12th of November 2018. They came out a month apart. Yet for some reason, you have valued this unit 30 multis more than a unit that came out a month afterwards. This unit's from 2018. It's 5 years old. Like, no unit. I don't care if Tesoro gave a 17x captain. I don't give a shit what he gave. He's 5 years old. Like, he's an old man in the grand scheme of Treasure Cruise history. He's old. He's 50% the age of Treasure Cruise itself. Like, in what capacity do you actively sit there? I want to be a fly on the wall so bad. I want to be reincarnated as a fly, and I want to live next to Yoshi and just to hear him talk and think about what his small, smooth brain says from time to time. Like, I want to know in that board meeting when Bandai production team was sat there being like, what's our metal exchange? And some guy perked up and said, oh, well, Tesoro is pretty good. I'm going to use Tesoro at 400. And Yoshi's like, bingo, you're hired, bud. And then went to Dreycom and said, hey, program this. Dreycom's like, all right, it's in the game, boss. And it's trying to fucking market it. No shot.
Yeah. I honestly, this one to me is the biggest head scratcher because, yeah, everything you just said and more. Like, I think someone brought up the argument that what if he's the next 6+, and this is their way of being like... That's what we also talked about in the pod.
Sorry? That's what we talked about in the pod. That's exactly what we talked about in the pod. Which, okay... Fair enough.
I really disagree.
Cool,
I disagree. Not okay.
It's not fucking okay though. Like it's cool, I suppose. Whatever. Wow.
If this character's the next 6+ with a level limit break, he should be 50 medals.
Unless he's converting like berry times 10 million, and then I can turn the berry into real life Australian dollars, and I can go like pay off my mortgage with it. Then yeah, all right, I'll spend 400 medals in this bozo. But like.
But I'll spend all my medals if that was the case.
Well, I'll fucking invest $1 million in the game. Yeah. But like, he's not doing that. Nor will his 6+ be anything to scoff at, even if his 6+ makes him the best legend in the game.
But do you remember when they 6+ Capone?
Capone 50 medals.
It was 50 medals, and you could buy 10 copies.
And you could fucking pull the unit for 4 multis on the banner.
Yeah.
When it's 6+.
So I just don't understand why they don't. If that's an argument people are thinking about, why would they not go and do that and put 5 copies for 50 medals? Because then you get copies through Pirate Rumble as well. So you get 3 copies through Pirate Rumble?
2 copies, I think.
2 copies.
3, one of the 2. Yeah, I think 2.
So I reckon if you got 2 copies through Pirate Rumble, you can buy 5. Chuck 1 copy in the Kazuna Box 6 as well.
Yep.
So that way everyone gets the 6+ every single month. And then that way you are 2 copies away from level in break 5. That would truly make a what's it called? A 6+ free to play. You don't have to buy the 5 copies. 3. They're just there.
What level is the captain ability usually buffed at? 3 or 4?
3.
Okay, we'll make it a 3 then.
3, like 3, level 3, so you need 5 copies.
Yeah. So make it a level 3. Sorry,
4 copies including the unit, so 5 altogether.
Yeah, so make it a level 3.
Yeah,
because buffing the captain is, I mean, obviously the special's very valuable, but for a lot of times a legend is used a lot of the time for the captain ability, especially the older legends.
Yeah,
you know, and yes, you can make the arguments back and forth, whatever. I don't want to hear you, but like, make it a level 3. Like, it just baffles me because even if. Because Tesoro doesn't have a... He does have a...
He has a level limit break, right? But he does not have a 6+.
Even if he gets a 6+, and even if his 6+ makes him a 7x captain if you follow all the gimmicky bullshit.
Well, his limit break, fantastic. Like his limit break expansion, they removed the gimmicky bullshit.
So there you go. It's not even fun anymore. Like, even if they did all of that, I'm going to kick it to you, he's still trash. He's great in Pirate Rumble. Don't get it twisted.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you could pick up 5 copies, get him to level 3, get your 2 copies from PvP, that would make him level 4, that would make him usable in PvP.
Done. What more do you want?
So, and that's where most of these characters end up seeing play with their level limit breaks, if they are very, very good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not see a single character on this entire list that I'd pay 600 medals for.
Well, I was about to tell you to say, speaking of that, the positive note from this very, very bad is that this month you can skip the medal shop.
What?
You don't have to spend your medals this month, guys. You can save them for next month. Everything from World Journey, World Clash, all those characters are going to be there next month. They're there all the time. So don't worry about picking them up now. Wait till the next medal shop comes around, because there might be a better legend there. Shanks Whitebeard, whilst I love my boy Shanks, you don't pick him up for 400.
No.
Sora's a no. Super Type Katakuri could be a very interesting 6+, and I would look forward to that.
If that's that you know how funny it will be if Katakuri's the 6+,
Yeah.
and Tesoro's just sat there at 400 medals like an absolute bozo, and Katakuri's 250. Oh, that'd be so funny.
So yeah, well, that's a medal exchange. Don't worry about buying that, and I think that pretty much wraps it up from us.
Now, one last thing on the medal exchange I want to say though.
Yes, sir.
It baffles me that they took excellent steps forward. Rare recruits in the medal shop.
Yeah.
OG limited rare recruits such as the World Journey. I'm missing so many World Journey units. I can now pick them up at any point. The World Clash units they pick up at any point. They're putting quote unquote powerful supports, rare recruits, which you shouldn't buy because they're on every banner anyway. So if they had removed the rare recruits from the banners but left them in the medal shop, that would be okay too.
Yeah, I think it's still a good thing, because like if you come up against content, you're like, crap, I need that support, you can then just go pick it up.
Correct. Like recently they added Strength Jozu, attack down, remover on Ace.
Yeah, like that Kobe down the bottom. I actually once upon a time I sold him. This is a very good lesson to keep one of every copy of the unit.
Yep.
I actually sold him. It took me a disgustingly long time to pull that Kobe again.
Bro,
like
4
months. And I summon a lot.
You know that Vivi? That Vivi that gives you an orb, matching orb
on
the final stage or whatever? I did 250 runs.
Yeah, so now she's pullable just on every banner.
Yeah, fuck me, I guess. Like, you know, but like what upsets me before we end the video is that I haven't said this today, and I'm gonna say it. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I've been coining this term for years now. This is what we've done with the medal shop. We took 1 excellent step forward by adding these unique characters to the shop, having a way for people to pick up old TM rare recruits and old collectible units. Like the Sakura Straw Hats, okay, they're all really bad, but it's a collectible unit that if I don't have them in my box, I'm going to go and buy them. That's how I'm
I don't
myself,
care too much about that.
I like it myself. It's just a great way to collect, because at the end of the day, trade recruits can be considered a very collector heavy kind of game. But then we took steps back. We added limits to how much you can spend in the medal shop, which I think is still very backwards, because they're the medals that I've earned and I've spent real life money on. I should be able to use them as much as I want, whenever I want. I shouldn't be limited to how many I can purchase. If I want to go buy 20 copies of Tesoro, I should be allowed to go and do that, right?
Yeah.
Especially with level limit break, where you need 9 copies and 10 including the character. I should be able to buy 10. The limit should be 10. It shouldn't be 1, 2, or 3. It should be 10.
Yeah,
one
I
for
agree.
the character,
The
rest of level limit break.
It then feeds back into people doing more multis, building up their medals, spending more medals. I mean. So
we always say that Bandai makes decisions based upon revenue, and they do. But the fact that they made these decisions with the medal shop, and don't even get me started with the decisions that they've made with the gem shop, like where you purchase purchase the gems with
500 coal for 10 gems. That's not worth it. I was literally just about to buy that. I have the ready shop up right now. Thank you for letting me know.
Oh no, actually, yeah, you should do that, bud. No, yeah, that's a great idea, eh?
I'm okay. Thanks for offering.
But like that's my upsetting part, is that we're still in this mentality of we take 1 step forward and we take 2 steps back. And what I want to leave everyone with today, before Stump wraps up the video, when we get the hype celebrations, when we get the New Year's event, when we get that guy releases. When we get,
in a month's time, we have anniversary, so like some big shit will be coming.
When we get JP Annie, when we get the once-year quality of life update, and everyone's happy and excited and says this is the best ever, please, I beg of you. I'm not asking you to not spend money. I'm not asking you to boycott the game. I'm not asking you to hashtag OPTC reborn. I'm not asking any of that kind of stuff. You can do whatever you want. I'm never going to talk about money and whatever it is again, unless it's in my own videos and stuff. What I am asking people to do, keep it in the back of your head, Bandai has fucked up a lot. Just because they've released 1 good celebration or 1 good quality of life update doesn't mean that resolves all the other problems and issues that are outstanding. We as a community need to hold Bandai accountable. Yes, this video has talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly, but at the same time, we're not forgetting about the good, we're not forgetting about the bad, we're not forgetting about the ugly. Keep everything in perspective when hype things happen. Don't just sing praises. Remember, take everything with a grain of salt, have fun, enjoy the game, but we talk about this stuff for the betterment of the product that we are consuming on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, sir.
That wraps it up.
Very well said. Very well said. On top of that as well, yeah, basically, yeah, you pretty much nailed it. At the end of the day, though, enjoy the game. There are a lot of good things still happening, but I did want to sort of bring to the forefront that there are things that people are talking about. There are things that people are concerned about as well, and they do listen. At the end of the day, they do listen. However, if you sit there and you go, this is shit, this is bad, I hate it here, they're not going to listen to that. Turn around and understand why they make decisions like this. Try and get an understanding of them and still see the positives and the negatives from both sides. Because at the end of the day, if you don't go into it with an open mind, neither will they. They won't take your criticism seriously. And hopefully, this video gives you guys some clarity on what's going on. Mine and Pappy's thoughts and opinions are being endgame players and having touch with the community as well. But on top of that, hopefully Bandai's listening. Like I said, they do listen. I know they do. So hopefully they take some of these points and they go, okay, how can we make the game better? Because at the end of the day, just like Pappy said, that's why we're sitting here. That's why we've spent the last, I can't see the time, about hour and a half talking about all this sort of stuff. Because we love talking about this sort of stuff. We love playing the game when it's at those moments. And it's honestly disheartening to see when this sort of stuff happens. It's coming from a good place. It's coming from a place that we want the game to grow as well. Because at the end of the day, that whole time, like, I was still scrolling through the game, reading stuff out, still playing the game on a daily basis. And I want to play it more.
You know?
So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions too as well, but guys, in the comment section below. Is there anything that you really love about the game? Please let us know down there. Is there anything that you are struggling with or you dislike at the moment as well? Let us know in the comment section below. But if you did enjoy the video, bolt the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button. I'm going to leave all Pappy's socials, his Twitter, his YouTube channel, his Twitch. Man's been streaming a lot more, so make sure to go hit him up with a follow, as well as all the GGP stuff as well. So thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for listening. I know it took a lot, but I love the game. Like Stump said, I fucking adore this game. I don't know where I'd be, who I'd be without it at this point in time. You know, taking me from, you know, across, you know, I've met people across the world. You know, I met Stump. They give me to meet in person, which is something that doesn't really happen in day-to-day life, you know.
Definitely.
So, we appreciate it, and the reason why we nitpick is because we love it so much. That's it. That's it at the end of the day.
Very well said. But that's going to wrap it up from us. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!